That's definitely not the same gray.
The king of perfection has met his match.
I started pulling things apart. I wasn't going to tackle this when we were on the hard.
So I got some bad news. Not gonna make it.
I'm Stephanie, and this is Travis. Together we bought a Hunter 42 Passage that we called Gypsy. We sold almost everything that we owned and moved aboard. After living on Gypsy through a Toronto winter, we decided that we had to get down south. Though we've got very little sailing experience, we decided to leave it all behind in our home country Canada to live out our dream in sailing the world. We're so pumped to share this adventure of a lifetime.
Right now we're going to mock up our new bootstrap line. I want to adjust the bootstrap line so it's not in the water and we don't have to continue to clean it with all the stuff that gets stuck on there. So this is what we're looking at now. There's our line. Just sucks because it's really easy to follow a factory line. Like, well, it's not really easy, it's just a lot easier than making your own line. I'm gonna try to put a fishing line and see how that works, see if I can get an idea of where we want it. Just play with it. Could take a while.
Unfortunately, the fishing line idea for the guide isn't gonna work because once we started to get around like the curve of the hull, the fishing line just sunk to the bottom, so we weren't able to use it successfully. There is an old line that we can see in the hull that is above where our current bootstrap is. I don't know if you can see, probably not with this lighting, but oh yeah, maybe right there. There's a little bit, there's an old line right there that you can see. So we're gonna use this one as a guide instead.
So another thing we could do is just get rid of the bootstrap line entirely and raise our bottom paint line up to there.
Kind of like having that line there.
Imagine that just being straight black. Like, see how there's no bootstrap on that boat?
Yeah.
All color.
I like the bootstrap though, because it just gives it a little extra.
So I noticed by our exhaust outlet, had a little bit of cracking right here from the pipe to the hull. So I just sanded it down, went and got some epoxy resin, hardener, some fiberglass. I'm just gonna reinforce it here. Wasn't on the list, but it doesn't leak inside. It just, obviously, if I see anything like that, I want to fix it. So we went and picked up some fiberglass, a couple different types. West system. This stuff's really cool because it actually comes with a pump, and each pump is the exact amount you need. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. It's really neat. We're going to test that out. And got my little yogurt container to mix it in. A paintbrush. Stir stick, and yeah. So after you've mixed your resin and a hardener, stir it for a minute, and then your first coat you just want to apply mixture. Lay in your glass. I'm just using Rovin. I don't care if this stuff's sticking out, I'm not going to fiberglass it and it'll be easy to sand. Bottom paint's going to be below that, or covering it, so it's fine. Here it is. She's all cleaned up. I just got to give it a light sand. And then here's where our water line will go. So we'll just paint inside of here with bottom paint. It's hard to see, but that crack's gone. Now they're nice and clean.
Now that I have sanded down the bootstrap, we're going to remove that tape that we first put on. Just didn't want to sand the gel coat on the hull, so we put that tape on for the sanding. Now I'm going to wipe it down with some acetone, and then we're going to re-tape the bootstrap line with some fine line tape, and then it'll be ready for painting, finally. I think once the boat is painted a little bit, I'll visually feel that we've made some progress, because right now it just looks like a mess. So yeah, happy to slap some paint on there. I don't even know why I'm wearing these gloves, they just eat right through. Okay, good news. Travis just told me that I don't think we have to rip off the old blue tape and retape it with fine line tape, because why? Because I did a good job.
She did a good job.
And the sanding,
a lot of work.
I was really careful with it, made sure that it didn't go onto the edge of the tape and lift any of it. It looks pretty solid, so I don't think we need to retape it. What did you say about your line there, and why are you ripping yours off?
Your line was better than my line. So we're just gonna redo this front section. The rest of my line looks good. There's just a dip right here. Walking around the boatyard, looking at everyone else's lines.
So the king of perfection has met his match. Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe that's why I'm redoing it.
But mine was better.
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had like a million other things to do.
Pat that back. It's getting to that time. It's a little bit cooler because the sun isn't directly above us, but that also means the no-see-ums and the mosquitoes and all the things come out, so gotta bathe in the off.
Now she needs to re-scrub the side because all the off's now sticking to the boat.
Hot.
We didn't end up raising the boot stripe using the old faded line as a guide, because it would have brought the boot stripe higher than we would have liked, especially in the front where we were already happy with. So we decided to raise the water line by a tape's width, as you can see by the bottom blue tape, using the old water line as a guide. Then, with a careful eye, we'll raise the water line in the aft only by curving the tape upwards to get the coverage we're needing for sitting heavier in the back.
This is the gray that we're using. It's not the same gray that we have currently, but hopefully it's a close enough match. We just couldn't find the exact paint here in Grenada that we had, but looks close enough so far. I don't know, we'll see when it dries.
It looks pretty close. It's a two-part paint, so it's really hot. It's like a really durable paint, apparently. And we've used this company before on varnishing our table. It seems like it's a good company, so we went with it. It's a bit more expensive, but we'll give it a go.
One part of that, two parts of the compound A.
How the heck are we gonna do that?
We'll just
no.
make it add to 3.
Well, it turned off.
It doesn't matter, then you know you just need 1.
Yeah.
You need 1 ounce because we put 2.
Okay.
And then we have to let it activate for 15 to 20 minutes before we can start the application. a different gray.
Wow.
Might it look different when it dries?
Might, yeah.
Because
Well, at
the
least
gray up top is more of like a blue toned gray. That's more of like a, I don't know, gray. Yeah, it's a different gray.
That's definitely not the same gray. Well, maybe if we have enough, we'll have to redo that one.
The best part. Peeler. I don't think the gray line looks that bad. Like, it's not the same gray, but it's not awful. What do you think?
Well, we like made it skinnier to raise the water line, and we followed kind of two lines that were there. There's a couple imperfections. It's not a perfect looking line.
But the color though, it's not bad.
It's not.
Well, once the black paint's on the bottom, maybe it won't look, it'll look good.
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if after living in the yard with it just being so flippin' hot that once we go back to the boat, we'll be like, this ain't hot.
Yeah, we're like, oh, this is great on anchor.
Right now it's 27, feels like 30, and it is glorious, cool weather to me right now.
It's comfortable.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's caused us to acclimate a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe. You just gotta turn up the heat a little bit, and then when we go back to the breezy anchorage, it might feel perfect. Probably not, it's just always hot. But we can hope.
Travis. That's disgusting.
It's better than that on the couch than in my face like the other bug I killed the other night. He was feeding for a while on my
Yeah, it looks like it
for me
could.
just to go whack. He felt nice and comfortable.
And that's a lot of blood. Okay, get rid of them.
Ooh.
It is Tuesday today, so it is day 7. So we're on track to being out of here within like a week's time versus 2 weeks. Definitely happy about that. We should be getting to bottom paint later today. We're gonna do it in the evening because we're supposed to get launched back in the water 12 hours after the application. So hopefully we'll be in the water tomorrow morning. We got 3 gallons of paint. We got a gallon of dark blue and 2 gallons of black. We figured that the dark blue would go well with the black because it'll be inconspicuous enough from afar, yet we'll be able to tell the color difference from up close to see the wearing. So yeah, hopefully we get some good coverage with the 3 gallons that we got, that it's enough. Hopefully we'll be out of here tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes because both things, they take longer than expected, but it is bloody hot and we are so over it. And yesterday we commented that we are operating at 70% because the fatigue with the sun, the heat is just, it's just killer. And each day our energy just goes lower and lower and it is not fun. So I'm excited that the end is near for sure. They're working on the travel lift tomorrow, so no painting will be done today. We'll have to wait till tomorrow, and we won't get put back in until the earliest 2 days from now.
That's okay.
No, it's not.
There's always projects I'll dig up and find something to do.
Not gonna make it.
I'm not gonna make it with you. Excessive
Make it.
whining.
We get to do a load of sheets and towels, because usually everything just gets hand washed. So the bigger items are always much more of a hassle.
So I wasn't going to tackle this when we were on the hard, but I figured I kind of dug into it. So maybe now I've got no choice. You can tell a lot of corrosion's here, so I just want to get this painted. Just to spruce it up a little bit in this area. So what I've done is I've taken out the alternator right here to gain access. I'm going to take off the starter, clean all this wire up, and then I'm going to be able to clean the crankcase area here. And then I should be able to just give it a couple coats of paint, help protect it a little bit. You could probably just tape things up and spray away, but I want to take off the starter here. I want to paint that up nicely. I got the alternator here. I want to paint that up nicely. And then it gains access to some other areas of the engine that if I can clean nicely, I'll paint as well. That's the project today. Pull stuff apart and paint away. Air vent, starter, alternator, breather hose, water hose. So here's the main area that I wanted to really focus on and get painted, because this is where we had the leak drip down here and it just ruined all sorts of stuff. Everything else I just took off and cleaned. I degreased it all. Now I just need to give it a light acetone clean so then the paint will stick. And then I'm going to tape off the areas as best as I can that I want to have not painted. And then I'm going to try to plastic wrap other parts of the engine bay so it doesn't get overspray. I just want to make it a little bit prettier and help with some of the corrosion. Should be fun. Alright, I'm going to paint this stuff. That's what I'm going to do first. Then clean and tape up the areas I don't want painted, just like maybe I'll just paint everything. Just some openings. I don't want to get paint inside.
Can you breathe in there?
No. Actually, it's sweat fest. Times a million right now. No!
It's stuck. Oh.
I got everything sort of wrapped off here that I'm going to do. And I'm in my own little sweaty, no air circulation hut, so the paint doesn't leave. I probably need a mask. I'm uncomfortable. I'm a little high.
How are the fumes?
Not good. And I don't know where my mask is. That's the only one I got. So what I did was I turned the blower on for the motor and it sucks all the fumes out really nicely. But for some reason our blower vents into our aft bedroom, so it makes it a little fumy in there.
Not painty though.
Not painty, like it's not like paint dust settling, but just fumy. Dirty. Thanks for the muffins.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's only like 100 degrees in here.
It's okay. That's why we're on the hard, get things done. And then hopefully we can get in tomorrow, which we should go line that up. I'll finish painting this, so we'll let the boat air out. We'll see if we can get a haul out tomorrow. And then we'll get prepped for later on today to paint the bottom.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I was gonna say you could have used one of our fabric masks, and then I could have put like a filter in it because I have little filters. But
well,
all right, well, good.
Coming along pretty good. Obviously I didn't get all the rust off, but at least it's covered and it shouldn't spread.
Well, we got some good news. We went to go double check that the travel lift is in operation tomorrow, and we're gonna get hauled in first thing in the morning, which means we can apply paint tonight. And it'll be our last night here.
We can be back in the water with the breeze.
Yes. And hopefully no more mosquito bites.
Yeah. Our boat wants to be in the water.
We hadn't seen a drop of rain since we've been in the boatyard, and as luck would have it, of course it's going to start right when we're ready to start our bottom paint.
Are you going to paint?
We're going to paint.
I'll come help.
It's 10:45 at night, we're starting our bottom paint, and we may have screwed up a bit. Stay tuned next week to see what that's all about. Thanks for watching, guys.